Hey folks, welcome to the GSP Team Podcast. It's just myself and Ayshea today.
So this is Cilléin.
That's a representation of Cilléin apparently.
Yep.
He's competing next week and didn't want to do the travel to Dublin. Just suited us really because we were coming up. He's a loser.
I told him, fucking loser, excuse my French. Yeah.
So yeah, we'll crack into it anyways.
Yep, work away.
This weekend, you're competing.
Oh, am I? Oh, I forgot about that, yeah.
2 days time. How are you feeling for it?
Actually, pretty good. Yeah, pretty good. I was actually talking to one of the lads there the other day and I was like, I think it's because the beginning of the year last year, I was out for a long time with a hamstring tear and I didn't actually have this running of comp. I've had effectively 3 preps this year already. Now, I know the first prep wasn't huge because I was a bit sick coming into it and it was the INSF Nationals, but I'm actually feeling really good. And I've had the issues with my foot and that run into it, but that seems to have all calmed down the past couple of weeks. So I don't know if that's denial or adrenaline or a bit of both.
Or a good sign.
Or a good sign. Hopefully it's a good sign, yeah.
What are you looking forward to?
Oh, I don't know. Funny enough, actually, really, I've liked the events, the medley. I've actually liked
the odd
objects. Yeah, I said this to you.
It's not like you.
No, I know. You know, everyone knows I hate sandbags, but no, the odd objects themselves, I actually really like. I think it's because it doesn't come across as a sandbag, and I've done sandbags for 7 years, and they're always horrible. Now there is a sandbag in it, obviously, so I'm actually looking forward to see how I perform on that. I think as well because the medley at ISW with the yoke into sandbag, I actually shocked myself how far I'd come with working on my conditioning.
Yeah.
And sorry, the coffee still got to kick in, lads. It was an early start. So so I'm looking forward to that. I was looking forward to dumbbell, but actually no, I am looking forward to dumbbell. Dumbbell is going to be an interesting one. Axel, I'm not so much looking forward to. That's been really hit and miss in training, as you know. Just old injuries and stuff kicking off. Obviously the deadlift, that's always a favourite of mine. And the stones, so there's nothing I can turn around and say that I don't really...
You're not dreading anything.
Yeah, I'm not dreading anything.
That's really odd because normally there's something you're like, fuck this.
I've turned over a new leaf.
You've turned over a new leaf.
Positive person. No, I think...
Positive Polly.
No, a positive Polly. Yeah, no, do you know what it is? I think this year has been so hectic with I'm always like, I was so busy and it's so hectic. But college has had me, I'm so focused, like I'm coming back into, as you know, I've got an assignment to go in and next week I'm coming into, on the Friday of next week and 2 Fridays after that, practical. So my mind isn't actually going, I'm not focused on the competition in the wrong sense of hyperfixated.
I think that's a really good thing.
Yeah.
I know, like, again, it's been a while since I competed properly, but I remember being back in college and comps always tended to be around time of exams. I loved that.
Yeah.
And I like, because again, you're tapering back when you're training, so you're not training as much, so it gave me more time to study. But because I was focused on studying, I wasn't thinking about the competition.
Absolutely.
And I always competed really well. Some people get really stressed and it doesn't work for them, but for me, it was always a good thing because I would hyperfixate on a comp and I could sit there getting psyched up on the couch about nothing.
Yeah.
Which is obviously a terrible thing to be doing because you're just draining yourself.
Absolutely, yeah.
So that's obviously been working for you.
I think so.
Being distracted.
Where it has been tough, I think, is in some of the training sessions because you need to be in a good mental place. Sometimes coming into the harder training sessions, and I would be a bit drained on some of those. But I've also had some really good training sessions that I hadn't been having. So taking the highs and the lows with it, having that intensity this year with the exams and stuff has really, really helped. So so I'm just actually looking forward to it now. It's like, I'm suddenly going, oh, hang on. I think once we land in Preston this evening, I'll be like, okay, now I'm in competition mode.
Yeah.
Now I need to start focusing. And I started doing a little bit of visualization this week anyway. So I have to remember I'm competing 6 events here.
That's actually going to lead into my next question is what has the preparation for people, I suppose, that don't understand what to do or don't know what to do with themselves in comp weeks? What do you do from Monday to Saturday? So your heavy training's done, so what's happening now?
What's happening now, I suppose, is...
Even go through the training side of it.
Okay, so the training side of things, we have 2 light sessions, and my last light session would have been on Tuesday, and we're competing on the Saturday. For the guys, I think it's normally on a Wednesday, and then they're competing on Sunday. And those 2 light sessions are on the first day, which was on the Monday, I think was like an empty bar for military press, 3 sets of 8, and then 1 single on the axle at 70%. Deadlifts, I think, at 30% for 3 sets of 8 or 2 sets of 6 or something. Really, really light. Didn't touch on any events. Again, I'm old lady.
You did do some dumbbell.
Oh, dumbbell, yeah, but when I talk about events, I don't see dumbbell as an event in that respect. I see it.
You're talking movement events, sandbags.
I have or farmers or anything else. So, didn't touch any of those. And then on Tuesday, again, very, very light deadlifts, just more for blood flow. But come Tuesday, I was sick of it. And every one of us that's competing, as you know, in the gym, we were just like, for fuck's sake, it's not fucking over yet. I've had enough.
I actually remember looking at John on Saturday. He done his last, I suppose, of his heavier axle singles, and it went really well. And he threw it down and he dropped his head, and I was like, oh, don't tell me this lad hurt himself on his last lift.
Yeah,
I was like, you all right? And he was like, oh, it's just getting tedious now.
Yeah, and every one of us, like Sharon was in, and Sharon's on a cut, and we're just, and I swear to God, the 60, 70 kilo deadlift may as well have been 220 kilos for sets of 6.
Yeah.
It was horrible. Everything's tired, but we know, and we know now, like after all the years, that that's exactly how you should be feeling.
Yeah,
and I wasn't feeling that way after the last 2 preps, which I feel is a good thing. I think it's a very good sign, because I actually go, oh, I remember this feeling that there's more work been put in.
I have always been adamant that at the end of your training block, you want to be just not wanting to train. You want to be sick of it, you want to be tired, and just ready for your deload so you can come in. And you just want to get the competition out of the way. That's generally what I've been seeing out of people in our place over the last week, which is perfect. That's where I want you to be. You want to get to that state of extreme fatigue, and then you get your super compensation, and ultimately you're stronger at the competition. That's the general idea of it. Like.
And feeling that way. And then that's from the training perspective. I suppose then from the other side of it, you're trying to keep mobile. I'll be jumping on the assault bike and just doing some steady state, just keeping the blood flowing. Bit of mobility. That's it really. And like I said, normally I'd be doing a lot more visualizing, but I've had so much on with the college. That's not as much, so I've had to remind myself, because I believe that's a really important thing.
What are you visualizing?
Okay, so I'm visualizing the whistle going on a medley, and me executing sandbags perfectly, getting them up, getting going, getting them over there, no faltering, no fumbling. And I know that sometimes people go, well, I try to visualize, and I always visualize myself messing it up. That's wrong. Like, don't
think of that.
You're thinking of positive visualization. It should be that you're executing everything. So I'm thinking of the dumbbell, I'm thinking of how I get it from the floor to my shoulder, how it feels, and that actual feeling of, I can never remember, we talked about this before, but I can't remember if it's visualization or there's another term, where you are actually, one is seeing and one is actually being in the moment. So it's going that step further and being in the moment of actually hearing the whistle, feeling metaphorically the weight, I suppose. So that's what I tend to do, and I hadn't done much of that, so I kicked that in this week. And just thinking about the deadlifts, like how I'm going to pace myself for deadlifts. Like I know that I have a thing for deadlift for reps that like I just keep smashing them out. This is probably one of the heaviest, not heaviest in a long time, not the heaviest, but heavy for a long time that I've done deadlift for reps. So getting that pace in my mind of how I want to execute those to squeeze out those final few. Yeah, so that's basically what I've been doing.
Okay, cool. And then from the like food, hydration, what else?
Okay, so food and hydration, I've been working with Tim in
Tim Meadows.
Tim Meadows in, oh God lads,
Scotland.
Scotland. Tim Meadows in Scotland. Sorry Tim, check him out. So I've been working with him for the past, as you know, since just before Worlds with my nutrition. So bringing my weight down, because I gradually want to bring my weight way down from where I'm at. So that's actually working really well at the moment. Tweaked my fats, tweaked my carbs, feeling really good because I was feeling quite run down for a bit. Hydration, obviously keeping on top of the fluids.
When you say tweak your carbs and fats though, like what's happening there is?
Okay, they're up. So I was actually in a
Everything's up.
Everything's up. Okay. Yeah, everything's up. My fats are up a bit as well. I seem to, again, from a hormonal perspective, I was suffering a little bit, so we upped my fats, and that seems to be helping things a bit. So working with him with nutrition, really looking forward to Friday, because Tim will have my plan where I can eat like 3,000 calories. And you're going to be so upset because I'm going to be eating donuts. See, he's going to cry.
Yeah.
Well, he actually said to me, Richard Scott, the bodybuilding butcher, right, is doing his nutrition. I'm going to tag you in it. Because he says to me, whatever you're eating, I'm eating. Because I was like, I get to eat pizza. So that would be the big carb load on the Friday, and like 3.5 litres of fluid, plenty of electrolytes, just getting that body fueled up for the, and again, it's going to be 6 events on Saturday, so I need to be ready for that. Yeah. I haven't done a 6 event show.
Ever?
In one day, no.
Really?
No, yeah. This is going to be new to me. Go on, have a think about it. I'm
having a serious think about it, yeah.
I haven't. I've done 6 events over 3 days with Worlds. And I have done 5 events, but I haven't done a 6th event.
I feel like there has to be one in there somewhere with the amount of competitions you've done.
No, I think they weren't a thing really. It's only they've become more of a thing recently, and for the women, this is the first time I would have done a 6 event in 1 day competition.
Wow. Okay. Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's.
I feel like that has to be wrong, but
We'll see.
But for it's been a long time anyway. If it has been.
If I had, yeah.
If you had. Okay. Right.
Yeah.
And how would you feel about getting back into the natural scene and like having real competitive competition, I suppose? Because I know, like, obviously you done INSF to qualify for this, but you were the only one in the Open.
Yeah.
So like,
Yeah.
I suppose we just kind of, that was just to get qualified.
Literally
we brushed
poke
that
and
off.
lift, yeah.
So what like, how are you feeling about it?
Really good, because I suppose when I first came, we talked about this before, when I first came into Strongwoman, even though like the majority in Ireland are natural,
Yeah.
there still wasn't, and it's no disrespect to the women who are out there still wasn't a huge amount of competition to go against until, like, okay, so Danielle's coming back and Kayla was on the scene, but until Gemma really popped up, there were a few that tried but couldn't stick the pace for it. So, but she's still only been my real competition the past couple of years.
Yeah, that's fair.
You know, and I'm fair, like Nicole McMillan's coming on, they're all coming on, but if you were to put part for part, the one who pushed me the hardest.
If you still look at the official Strongman Ireland's, like that was, you know, they'd all be naturals as well.
Yeah.
It was just you and Gemma really.
It was a 2-horse race in that
fight,
respect,
at the top, and then there was the battle for kind of third and so on.
That was that disappointing, because I was like really hoping that there would be a mix up in the points, and it wasn't. It just became me and Gemma.
It's been a repeat of that for like 4 years now.
I say it gets tedious, lads. Anyway,
Yeah.
But so now going to UK and Ireland's, I know I've got some serious competition again in a mix. So
a stacked lineup.
A stacked lineup, yeah. It's going to be really interesting, and I love that. And I think people sometimes shy away from, like, okay, so if you're not in the level where I am and where I've been competing for a number of years, right, and you're not quite there yet, and you've been competing just for a year or two, and you shy away from competition because you're like, I'm going to get bet. Look at what I'm doing. Like, the likelihood is it's going to be a really, really big battle. Like Rosalind McCall, is it?
Rosalind.
Sorry, Ros. Anyway, Ros from Scotland.
I think it is.
I'm really shit. I can't remember my own name half time, right? So anyway, Ros has come on leaps and bounds. She did wonderful. She did amazing at Worlds last year. So I was like really excited to come up against Ros. You have, who else is in my lineup now? You're gonna have to help me out here. There is it Ellie?
Victoria Nuttall.
Victoria Nuttall.
You've got from Wales. Then you've got
Lisa Hassel.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I've come up against Lisa before in.
Kelly Proctor. Is she in it as well?
Not.
Let me double check.
See, lads, what you have to understand is I have not had a chance to actually really look at my lineup. Matt even said to me, "Do you remember what events you're doing at the weekend?" So I'm kind of winging it.
She does forget. Let me just get it here for you.
It's old age, lads. It's called perimenopausal brain.
Victoria Nuttall, Anna Fox. Ella Gibbs.
That's who was the other
Ella
girl
Gibbs,
from Scotland.
monster presser.
Absolutely savage, scaring
so,
the crap out of me with that dumbbell. I'm not going to be anywhere near that, but.
It's a really strong lineup.
Really strong.
So you've got Roz, Victoria Nuttall, Ayshea, Anna Fox, Lisa Marie Hassel, Ella Gibbs, Steffi Murray, Amy Bradburn was also at Worlds last year as well.
Right,
Adelina Papa, Amy Harvey, and Stacey Woodrow.
And there's names on there that I don't know, right? And I've said it 4,000 times if you've listened to the podcast or listened to me rant. I train against the girl who's in the cave who I don't know anything about, right? That's who I'm training against. Even if I had Instagram on all of these girls and I was going searching for them, which I don't do, the little bits I've seen are just, they've come up in a feed or whatever, right? I'm training against these girls who I don't know what they're going to pull out of the bag.
Yeah.
So it's really exciting for me to be in such a big group of women, some I know nothing about, some who I've seen come leaps and bounds in the past 18 months. Like Ros, I'll go back to Ros because I suppose we're very close to the Scots, so I'd see more of what they're doing.
Yeah.
And Ros pulled 200 for 3 there the last day, which is fabulous.
She pressed 100 on the axle, I believe.
Insane.
Yeah.
You know,
so
absolutely
do you see Ros as the biggest challenge?
Only by what I know, but I don't see that as, do you know what I mean? I'm not looking at Ros and going, oh my God, I have to beat her, because Lisa pulls stuff out the bag. At Wales, the BNSF competition 3 years ago. I'd never heard of Lisa. Next thing she was...
You're talking about Europeans, WHA
Europeans, that was one, WH Europeans. So I don't know, Vicky Nuttall, you just don't know what's going to happen in there. But I think I have a great admiration for Ros. That's why I'm throwing them out there. And like I said, I haven't been watching the rest of them, so I don't know.
I think Ross, I would imagine she's going to be very hungry coming into this because she
Oh,
came
absolutely.
second in like everything for the last couple of
Yeah,
years.
so she's going to be gunning for it. Like,
Yeah, when I say everything, I mean Natty seen UK's, UKNS,
I also know
finals and worlds.
as well, without being a big head about it, I have a target on my back still. Like, I've gone to OSG, I won worlds at OSG in a non-tested environment, right?
Yeah.
I came second the second year I was there. So I understand as well that perhaps I am who people are wanting to beat, which is also, and that's
Potentially.
without being big-headed about it as
Yeah,
well.
yeah.
So it's understanding that people are chasing you, people are going to be, you can't go into it complacent. I'd never go into a competition anyway and go, oh lads, here now, I'm going to smash the shit out of the lot of you.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
it's
yeah.
never going to happen because that's when my downfall is going to really, it's going to hit me.
Yeah. Cool.
Yep. So yeah, so that's it. I think with the,
That's it with the weekend. We should see what happens now, don't we?
yeah, I think so. It's going to be really, really cool. I'm, like I said, really excited, really looking forward to it. 6 events. I'm guaranteeing you the first time I've done 6 events in one day.
It'll be a quick turnaround too.
Yeah. You know, and that,
I'd imagine around 4 hours or so.
yeah. What did we do OSG in last day?
Oh, that was slow because of the deadlifts.
No, but if you took that out, yeah.
The rest of it was probably only about 2.5 hours.
Yeah, so it was fairly
Fairly quick as well. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Cool. That's that really. So is it
I think
for
so, yeah.
for this weekend? We'll be chatting next. We'll be doing one of these next weekend as well. Anyway, so we'll be able to talk about the post comp and all that.
Exactly, yeah. But a big shout out to Team Ireland. Because
Absolutely, yeah.
we have a fucking
The 17 athletes gone over
17
from
athletes.
Ireland. Yeah, it's
Jesus.
really cool.
Yeah, like it really shows
Like when you consider
where the natural scene, where it's come from in the past 2 years.
Yeah, like the first UK and Ireland's, I think there was like 1, maybe 2 men going over. It was all women. It was like 6 or 7 women maybe. Whereas this year it's I think 8 women and 9 men. Would that be 17?
Yeah, I think
That's
we
17,
counted it
right?
up on our
It's-
fingers
It's
the other
something,
day.
it's something like that. Yeah, so it's absolutely brilliant. I'm very excited for it.
Yeah.
Very excited. Right, we'll crack on into the next couple of topics.
Perfect.
So we put a question box up on Instagram. We only have 2 questions because no one listens to our podcast.
I swear
obviously.
to God, right, lads. and then there's people going, oh my God, I was listening to a podcast. Throw us a question.
In fairness, we didn't know what to talk about either.
Yeah, he was on the way up going, so what topics do you have? I was like, I don't know, don't ask me. It's just a rant.
So, I think the one big one that we could chat about, and someone messaged me about this during the week, I was telling you.
Yeah.
And I sent some voice notes back and I was chatting to him about it. Is any advice or things to consider for someone wanting to open a strongman gym? So I don't know if they mean just a strongman gym or a strongman and a gym together. And then the other person that messaged me during the week, they have a gym already.
Yeah.
They've got a bunch of strongman equipment there and they want to get strongman classes or group training going to get like a strongman thing going in their gym.
Okay.
So what advice would we have for these people, I suppose, is the big thing.
Don't do it.
Don't do it, yeah. I think something...
And I don't mean that in any other way than it's like it's taken us 7 years to get to where we're at. Right?
Yeah,
so
but
don't be going in thinking this is a...
But I think when people look at what we're doing, I don't think they see what we're actually doing. I think
Yeah.
they see GSP as just a strongman gym, but it's not.
Yeah.
GSP is just a gym.
Yeah.
We just happen to have a really good strongman club within it.
Yes.
And we happen to have a lot of strongman kit in there because I keep buying stuff and we run comps
Yeah,
out of
he
there.
keeps buying stuff.
But if GSP Monday to Saturday is a regular gym,
Yeah.
we just have our team training times where we operate as a strongman gym
Yeah.
for a few. We essentially operate as a strongman gym for like 8 hours a week,
Yeah.
where it's only strongman. But the rest of the time it's a normal gym.
Yeah. And I think that what came across is I had somebody message me on Instagram looking to come and do some powerlifting. They powerlift and they want to do a different environment, use some of the kit. And they're like, I know that, you're specifically strongman. And I actually messaged back and go, I just want to, we're not specifically strongman. We just happen to have, like I said, a strongman club.
Yeah.
It happens to be the most dominant thing that comes out there that people know about.
Yeah.
But back to that, Monday to Friday, or Monday to Saturday even, at certain times, it's regular folk.
Yeah.
I have young athletes coming in for rehab, S&C. I have an 80-year-old man who wants to come in to get stronger,
Yeah.
who's...
And just people who just like training.
People who like to train. They're not competitive, they're not interested in competing. Some of them have kind of then gone, oh, that looks really interesting. But generally, it's just regular folk.
And if you look around Ireland at all the gyms that like have a lot of good strongmen coming out of them, look at, you could go Like even there's a lot of strongmen in Coraleisure in Midlands with David Harrington, Charlie McGarry's gym, McGarry Barbell, Decky Dowds,
Liam,
Pure Grit, Liam Shields, TK Fitness. I mean, I could just go on and on and on. And I'm sorry for not missing people, but and GSP including that. Their main, I don't think any of their main trades that's keeping the door open is just strongman. There isn't enough strongmen in a lot of the smaller areas. Like you got to think, Galway City's only got like whatever 80,000 people, but it's scattered with gyms. So like, and then all these other places like wherever Longford, and then wherever Charlie is up the country there somewhere. You know, there probably isn't going to be enough strongmen in these towns to run a just strongman gym. When you consider rent and all the cost of running a place. So I think first things first is you're not just opening a strongman gym. You're going to open a gym that does strongman as well. I think if you want to keep the doors open on the place.
Absolutely. And I think that's the understanding, because I think throw it back to 7 years ago, and the whole reason that GSP was started, or Galway Strength and Performance at the time, was to have a home for strongman and powerlifting. But you at that time realised quite quickly that was not going to pay the bills, and you had to take you know. But it was, you know, it was bought with this mind of like almost of who was Mark Bell,
super training,
right? That you'd have this place that, you know, it'd be paying for itself, and then you could get these elite athletes and they'd be able to, you know, train for free. 7 years on, still hasn't happened. But it's understanding that it's going to be really tough in the beginning, but if anyone actually can open a strongman specific gym in Ireland and make it work and make serious money out of it, let us know. Right? Just
I think,
share your
like,
secrets. Because,
I think at some point, like, and even like, do you know what I was going to say in Scotland, because there's so many more strongmen, but if you look at GBA, which is one of the biggest strongman gyms in Scotland, they've got fitness classes and whatever. Stephen has like an old people class, I'm going to say. I don't know what it's called, but for like...
Probably like an active retired or something.
Something like that. But do you know what I mean?
Like me, is it? Or older?
No, there's a lot of different avenues there that I suppose are probably keeping the doors open on GBA Strongman.
Absolutely. But I think what happens though is you go open up that way, and what happens is that's what happened with GBA, is you had people that go in there and they saw the girls and the lads training strongman and were like, that looks really cool. And then they got sucked into that strongman side of things. So that would be...
And that happens in our place as well.
Absolutely.
I mean, like if you want, like, even like talk about Mary Egan real quick, she came in and wanted to do powerlifting, but seen one of the women do a load medley and was like, that's for me.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's it, she's hooked ever since. Like. Regular people as well that's happened to.
So I suppose it's knowing your audience and knowing, like, if you have an area, if you have a gym already, I suppose if you don't have a gym, understand that if you're looking to do something that's just strongman specific, you're probably going to be doing it as a side gig for a bit of fun with your mates in a shed, right? I think that's possibly what we're saying, if it was just strongman specific you were looking at.
As far as having a gym goes, because again in Ireland at the moment, I just don't think the population of strongmen are there to keep a facility open just by running strongman in it, unless you didn't have to pay rent. So shed out the back.
Shed out the back, okay, so that's number one. Number two, if you have a gym already, that was the other question that came in during the week. Has a gym, has some strongman equipment, wants to develop.
Or if you're opening a gym and you want to develop a strongman community within that.
Yeah, same thing.
Yeah, so I suppose, and what I said to that person is, the person that contacts me actually doesn't do strongman, but someone in the gym wants to and they have a lot of kit. I was like, for me, I think you need to get someone that has skin in the game, so that they can coach. Like if I'm going to say an average PT or an average Joe Soap decides he wants to be a strongman coach and develop a strongman group, why is anyone going to listen to that person if they don't have skin in the game? That's my first thing. You haven't coached anyone at a good level, you haven't competed at any kind of level yourself. I think that's the first thing you have to do, is get somebody to be in your facility that probably has skin in the game, because then people will pay attention to that person. You don't have to be a great athlete. Like I came back to myself chatting about it as well. I was like, I've never won anything in strongman. I had a painful amount of second place medals at national levels and at decent levels, and I've competed at Europe's 105s and I've competed at good levels. So I got loads of experience. So that, I suppose, is why when you started working with me, you would listen to me, and Olivia back in the day.
I never used to listen to.
And then all the other people, and it rolled on and on.
Yeah.
But I have a lot of skin in the game, and I have a lot of time put in, and I learned an awful lot through competing, and then obviously through my obsession with learning about, like, programming, science, biomechanics, all that stuff. That helps as well, obviously, and that is something that some people have to do. But yeah, I think if you want to go down that route, you have to have somebody there. If you're not that person, you need to get someone in that can run that group or can lead that group, because what's going to keep it together? You know, that's kind of that's your starting point really, if it's me. But and then from there, I think continuity of group training times is important. So we're in ABS at the moment, and obviously we just opened the strongman area up here. So ABS is a 2 hour and 15, maybe 2 hours, 2.5 hour, depending on traffic drive from Galway where we are in GSP. And every Wednesday since we've opened here, I have drove up to Dublin to be here to help people out, to coach them, and then I drive back down again. We haven't got a humongous membership here because obviously we just opened up. But we got a nice little base of lads, and every Wednesday when I come in, they're here. And I have pictures of last night, and the lads all standing around weighing stuff together and sandbags and messing, and you know, it's great crack. But that, I think even that once a week of me being here to help lads out and to coach them, that creates the group and the team environment, and you can see it all happening here, and they all come in, they're chatting, there's no shyness at all. And it's that, I think that, how do I put it, that continuity of me being here to bring a group together, to help them out, to create that team environment, that helps as well. So you need to be consistent with something like that, because I know someone spoke to me about trying to do it before and it never got momentum, but if there's no one there to make sure the momentum is happening, how is it going to get it?
And I think it's like
I might be babbling on a bit now.
No, it's true. Like if you don't have a leader, it will eventually fizzle out, because you're going to have too many chiefs and not enough Indians. Which is what will basically happen. Or people are not they don't have accountability or a commitment to it. So when you bring in that kind of club environment, it brings that accountability in. So we know, even from our club.
In Galway, it's much easier because we're there.
But that's developed over time. And eventually, I have no doubt that it will develop here, and people will talk, and then the group will get bigger, and leaders will emerge who will follow.
Exactly, and I have someone in mind that hopefully over time will be able to lead that group. That maybe it'll go from, you know, a group session Wednesday and maybe Friday, Saturday, where lads will be all in at the same time and training together, and you'll see up to 20 lads.
That's probably Jay's young lad, because he's a right little entrepreneur.
He's a bit off yet, but that's kind of what I have in mind. You know, I think it's. And I said to the person that contacted me during the week in a voice note, I was like, you have to set your times for, say, a group training session and make sure it's consistent. You know, make sure it's happening all the time, even if numbers are low for a while, because you will have that. You'll have whiles where lads maybe just finished a comp and they're not really around the following week because they're on a deload, and the next week they're just getting back into training. But you have to just not lose faith, and you have to keep pushing it. And then you have to market it on social media and make sure you're putting stuff out there. And have I answered that? I wonder if
I think you've well and truly answered.
Way to a tangent, like.
It's not even a tangent. You've just kind of gone further ahead of, if they want it to be successful. If you're looking to do that and you want it to be successful, this is what's going to happen. Don't expect, I think, to just say, oh, we have strongman classes and we're doing strongman, and then after 3 weeks you have only got 2 people in there, and then given up. Like if you truly want it to grow, you have to have the long game on it and stick with it.
The other thing as well, just on classes. So I think classes for strongman is a good way to get people in, right? And get them to feel equipment and, you know, kind of get a grapple of things. But if you want to have a competitive strongman team that actually go and do competitions, I don't think a 1 hour class cuts it.
No.
It's brilliant for getting people in the door. It's brilliant for getting people to get a touch in it and to get addicted to it. Because people tend to get addicted to it once they get a feel of it. But if you want to develop a good strongman team, like imagine if we were in GSP and we said, right, strongman lads, you have an hour. Cilléin, Ayshea, you know, even the powerlifters, Dave, Bobby and all them, they'd be like, what are you talking about, an hour? You'd be like an hour warming up some days and getting ready to lift. Like.
He's not lying.
You know, so what we do in GSP, again, we're lucky to be able to do that, and we can kind of do it here as well, is like from this time onwards, like it's 5:30 on Tuesday, 6 o'clock Thursday in Galway, and then from whatever on Saturday, what are we, 10:30? The gym's basically closed and it's just strongman.
And again, that was a sacrifice that we had to make, because I have had to turn around and say to people who want to come in for a regular gym, you have to be gone. And I was very strict with that, and it was very tough at times, because sometimes people will go, well, hang on a second. But when they understood that, you know, there's loads of times that you can come in for a regular gym, but these times are specific for the club. So like I said, from 6 until whenever they finish. No one gets kicked out. Most people have finished by 10, depending on whatever whatever it is they're doing. But I think understanding that if you do have a commercially kind of gym, or that's class-based or whatever,
and you don't have a separate space.
Absolutely. And again, I don't think
you'd have to start like that though.
No, I don't know if I agree with just having strongman classes. I think having a strongman course.
Or
maybe.
strongman just training
Like
times
we were doing,
like we have.
No, but if you were just trying to get people in the door.
Okay.
That's how the classes sometimes work. Like, oh, we're having a strongman based class. And you're
Yeah.
saying, why not have 2 avenues for that? Just say, okay, here's an introductory. Remember, like a foundation kind of thing.
The learn
I'd do it,
strongman thing we did,
Strongman, like learn to lift, right? Bring them in for 2 sessions a week for 3 weeks. And they learn all the basics. And then go, right, okay, so if you like it, you now have this option to come into this environment. But we don't do classes of strongman.
So you wouldn't think it'd be a good idea for them to do a strongman once a week class, even for maybe if they do classes and like the members could then come and get a feel of strongman equipment in like a conditioning based thing.
Yeah, but would you routine? Well, we're going into a whole business model here. So
You
you need to sort that out for yourself. Yeah, I just know that we've tried so many things over the years, and even Learn Strongman didn't really kick off.
But what if you were in a gym that has a decent base of members and you're trying to coax them into it, maybe?
Like different.
Yeah.
Then they're going to see it. Like I said to you, like we have people coming in who see what's happening, or they come to a competition and they're like, "Holy God, this is crazy. I'd really like to give that a go." So.
Okay.
But that's just me.
Yeah.
And I'm not a fan of classes.
Yeah. I'm not either. So have I answered that enough, I think?
No idea, but
No
I think
idea, yeah.
we've talked it.
So this is
round
either
and
useful
circle.
information or very useless
shite
information.
and
Yeah,
random.
let us know.
Yeah, please do. Let us know.
And the
Feedback would be good.
The only other question we had then from one other person was advice on making your deadlift bigger, or improving your deadlift. And again, like I would need a lot more context to that. You would need to, this technique, like where's your technique at? You're going to start there. Then it's like, what's your programming like?
Yeah. What level you're at?
What level you're at. There's so much goes into that, like accessories and stuff. So I really couldn't answer that question. But if that person's listening to this, maybe message us with some more context.
Yeah.
Maybe send us some videos, and we could actually do in the next podcast. We could all look at the video, we could all critique it, and maybe look at the programming and what he's doing, and give advice from there. It could be a cool segue into some other types of content that we could do.
Absolutely. There needs to be more context.
Way more
we
context.
Have no idea.
Yeah. It's just it's such an open-ended thing that it's
Just
like we
get stronger.
can't answer that. Just get stronger. Yeah. But I think that's everything, is it? Will we wrap it up and
I
start heading to the airport soon?
Is there anything else we need to talk about?
I think that's it. Next week. So if you listen to this, next week we plan on doing one of these again. Next weekend we'll chat about the post UKNS, how you feel about it. We'll have Cilléin back with us, and we might have. We're doing the media day for.
So that's the other thing. So Cilléin, we kind of mentioned at the beginning. Cilléin is going to be doing
Ireland Strongest Man this weekend
on Monday, Bank Holiday Monday. So we should have hopefully some.
So hopefully good news for you and Cilléin next week. Fingers crossed.
We're not coming in. It'll just be him.
Yeah.
Him and a cup and a.
It'll just be me. Yeah, just be me. But yeah, that's it, folks. Thanks for listening.
Cool. Thank you very
Hit
much,
the old subscribe thing. Thank you very much.
The thing.